Should I really be calling this the Fowler failures anymore? Because been really a lot of Fowler fulfillment. Come back after the titles and see what we're doing. Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, Maltrain Outsider, the Maryland Outsider, a Knight of the Rhomboid Table. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of work today, and I'm going to film it, and I'm going to set this up ahead of time. But I wanted to take this opportunity and talk about a couple of things that I don't know if I'm going to sound naggy or bitchy or what have you, but I want to clarify a couple of things. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's like, oh, you've really been sticking with it, all your hard work. It hasn't been a lot of hard work. Although I've been working on this since 2020, I had it all working by June. I started it in like February or March of 2020 and worked on it just as COVID was hitting, and I was stuck at home without work for a while. And I had to acquire the pieces, so I'd work for a couple of days and go, oh, I need more pieces. But also, I was building a hybrid system, which I'll explain more in a minute. So I'd have to order pieces, custom make my own pieces, and by June of 2020, I had it running beautifully, and through much of 2020, it ran great. I didn't really run it in too many live streams, but people would say, hey, can we see the Fowler car working? Yeah, sure, and watch it. But I'm sitting here trying to control the trains and watch the trains in the chat, and if the Fowler car is running over there, the battery dies or what have you, or every now and then the car might run off, something bumps or what have you. But be that as it may, this was all before I started doing separate videos. Back then, I was doing all the Fowler car stuff in my Model Train Outsider, so you could really follow the progress of it beginning, I don't know, is it 30, Model Train Outsider Series 1, 30 episodes, 33, 34, all the way up to, I think, 39, 40. And then I stopped doing the Model Train Outsider series. I came back with Series 2 for about 7 episodes, and then I just stopped doing those shows. I got rid of the Ghost of 2015 and had other ideas of what I wanted to do. All right, I'm going to turn this video into too long a video. Anyhow, so it wasn't a lot of hard work. Even when things went wrong and I started trying to make it go digital in 2021, which is when the problems began, I only worked on it for a couple of weeks once I had the right parts, and then, okay, I think I shorted this motor out because this thing wasn't clear which line goes in here and blah, blah, blah. Whether in German or English, certain things weren't clear. I only worked on it for a few days over a 2-3 week period. In only a couple hours those days, because that was right after my back injury, and Joyce and I were both home and doing other things, a lot of house improvement projects, etc. So I really didn't put a lot of work into it, a lot of thinking at times to try to solve problems, because I kept trying to make the digital work, and in the end, the problem was I was too boneheaded. I kept trying to make the digital work, and really, we've sourced that most of the problems come from that box, that traffic control box. Not that it's a bad thing. I just maybe got the lemon from it, or it got damaged in shipping, or something I did to it when I was first setting it up. Maybe I scraped something or knocked something or bumped something. You don't know. It just, plenty of people have these and they work great. All right, so the other thing is, so I haven't worked that hard on it, even though it's been 6 years. That's the problem. Time flies. The other issue is that all the problems I'm having are not the Fowler car system. As I pointed out, they're me problems. Unfortunately, people are interpreting that as I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. So let me explain what's going on. Because even already here, yes, we got some things working, but it was things I had working. We just got them working more consistently. And yes, we found a couple of dodgy, God, now I'm saying that word and I hate it, read sensors, a dead motor, because these things, they're not that sensitive, but yeah, if you put the wrong polarity on, or you put it in upside down, oops, it doesn't work. You get goop or tar or something on the read sensor, it doesn't read the magnet on the bottom of the bus well. Anyhow, but I'm asking the Fowler car system to do something it's not designed to do. That's why I call it a hybrid system, because I'm also using stuff from Wiesmann and some other things to coerce the Fowler car system to do something it's not designed to do. So let me explain that real quick. It's two main issues. When I designed Delmenhorst, the bus station, I accounted for the Wiesmann, the Fowler car track. I was going to use the track. It just makes it easier. And yeah, I did it all in June 2020. It's all working throughout 2020. It's working great. Yay. So wasn't that hard. Add the next module when you get it wired up. Work the read sensors. Yes, you gotta fiddle with them a bit, get them into the right position, but once you do, everything's working. Okay, so all the turnouts are working, all the stops are working, yay. And then I decided to go digital. All right, but here's the thing. First of all, I'm trying to replicate the city of Delmenhorst bus terminal traffic flow, which is crazy. The Fowler car system's not designed to do that. So let me put this up here and show you again. I did a video on this a couple of years ago, and back when I was first starting it, trying to explain it. But if you look at this picture, there are two streets, and the bus terminal is in the middle, all the 12 different parking bays. All right, so at the top, basically the north, not exactly due north, but let's just call it north for the sake of argument. There is a 2-lane road running from your right-hand side, east side, to your left-hand side, the west side, and that's Wiedekindstrasse. That's one way, 2 lanes, one way. On the bottom of this picture is Koppelstrasse, going the opposite way with 2 lanes. In the upper right-hand corner and the bottom left-hand corner are 2 entrances for buses. There's a little turn-off lane that only buses can use, and they go in. But they don't just go in and park at the terminal. They go in and circle halfway around the island to pull in on one side, and then they go out and circle around to go back out to go back their route. So they're circling and even doing a circle and a half at times around that island. That's a crazy flow. Basically, the buses do almost a figure 8. So coming in and going out, all of that. All right. Fowler car is not designed for that. I had to actually design my own pieces. I had to custom make pieces to fit the track, because the track is just straight and basic 180-degree curves at a radius, the equivalent of a radius 2. I had to make S-shaped track. I had to make a double cross where the wires go both ways to account for the bus coming one way and going out the other and crossing the path. It was a rather ambitious project, but I did it, and I did it successfully. It works, until I tried to make it all digital so I could run it here during live streams. All right, the other issue is, as I mentioned, I built this to accommodate the track system. Now, the Fowler track did 2 things. Number one, it raised the level. The tracks were about 2 millimeters thick, maybe 3 millimeters thick. And that, with the curve of the island, when you put the tracks, they were almost level, not quite. There was just a slight bit of a rise on the platforms for the bus terminal to account for the little 4-inch curb that is actually there in reality above road grade. All right. The other thing the Fowler track did was that the way it's designed to account for the big buses is that it pushes to fit the geometry of the motors in. It pushes them off a bit. See, when you're looking from above the cameras and that, it looks pretty cool. They're going in and stopping, but technically they're not going all the way up in the bay like they would in reality. They're stopping a little short to give them room to track out. The real buses have a much tighter radius they can turn, so they pull all the way up and then out without bumping the curb. Fowler buses don't have that type of, they're limited for what they are. Anyhow, so everything ran smoothly, but once I removed the track, and there's a lot of reasons I did, don't worry about it, I decided to go with the track in bed. Well, the problem is now my little 0.5 millimeter curb is a 3.5 millimeter curb. So now the buses, instead of flowing over a little bit of the curb like they did, they're now jamming on it. That was a problem. Plus, they are going in deeper because once I got rid of the road track, I embedded the Wiesmann tape eventually, the Wiesmann magnetic strips, and I took them deeper in and out and made it a little tighter. But also because they were going in deeper and tighter, they're actually hitting the signs because the height of the canopy isn't accurate. It was the best I could do, but it's not 100% accurate. So the signs are hanging down and the buses are banging into the signs. So again, yikes. I have spent a part of this year, once I started working on this, trying to figure out how to adjust. And I had to adjust geometry. One thing I did was on the side that was working is I built a little ramp to act like the track again and just kind of hide that it's a ramp. So the bus goes up and it still stays wide enough away that it doesn't catch the sign. So it's working. It always had been working. On this side, because I changed the geometry of everything, the motors are deeper in and it was a mess. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to move a stop today. I'm going to take out the one stop where I think maybe one of the reed sensors might be dead, and it's currently plugged in. We knew it was all working because we had it on the module. It was working. And then we moved the module to the outer one, and that's working, but this is dead. So I really think the traffic signal is dead. Every now and then it lights up and acts like it's working, and we would get some success, but it's really weird. So there is a power supply problem with that traffic control module, which I'm using. I'm going to have to break down and buy a fourth module, but they're hard to find and they're expensive when you find them now because they've been discontinued in that format. Okay, so anyhow, I'm asking this to do things because when you think about a bus stop, which is what I'm using here, but it's, even though this is a bus stop, it's a terminal and there are parking bays. So the buses in reality, when they're at a regular stop, they're either on a lane of traffic and they stop right there and you have to wait for them to move and drop people off, pick people up and go, or they have a lane where they pull over, but it's all level. There's no things like that. So the bus stop had its uses. It kind of worked. In fact, it did work as long as I had that track, but now that I've changed how I'm using it, it's become more of a problem. So I've been trying to figure out ways around the problems and still have it flow as smoothly as it did. Well, we have finally, after long thought and Joyce's suggestions, that we've come up with some ways to do it. So here is going to be some video of what I got done today. I don't know how far I'm going to get. What I wanted to show you is the modification I'm doing again and explain why. Now, this is my Delmenhorst bus station. You can see there's a sign right here, realistic to what it was in 2022, 23. And if you can see, this is pretty, there's a thick step up here. In reality, it was not this thick compared to the size of the person. But I had the Fowler road pieces were designed, and I shaped this, although this is the actual bus stop shape, I built this higher than it should be to accommodate the Fowler road. So what's happening is as the buses come in here, it's getting hung up here because of where this is. This is the stop motor, by the way.
That's the stop motor. That's the turnout motor. So the bus is getting hung up in here. So what I have to do, I've been trying to create some little pieces here that would fit here and allow the bus to fly over, but it still gets hung up on the little stop sign, or, you know, the route sign here. So this was okay here when I had the Fowler Road coming up a bit, and this sends that little electric pulse to shut the motor off. But now that it's here, this is just too tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move it. And I'm going to move it up to here. I'm going to move it here. This will give me a little bit more room. I may also have to rip this line out. But I'm going to move it and have it a little further back, which will give the bus room to stop and then pull out and go. So I'm going to take all this out here. And then I'm going to relay the line here. And I'm probably going to take this and pull it out a bit. It's not very straight. And I'm going to pull this line here out so that there's room for the bus to go in. And then when I have, for show, I like to have other buses parked in. And when that bus comes out, I don't want it hitting this bus. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I have to make these changes. So I've got my boring bit out, and I'm going to drill a hole there. I've marked everything, how it should be lined up. And so I'll move this out of the way, drill. And there is a template here that shows you how far everything should be spaced. There is a template here. Okay, so I have moved the stop motor here. I have not laid the new track yet. I'm going to have to carve it out, draw it out a bit. But I used the plug from this hole to plug this hole and that hole. And then I'll put a little glue and plaster in there. That'll all be covered over eventually. So that'll be fine. But I'm also making a decision. Since only the one bus will be coming in through here, it'll come straight down the line here and go into there. It's the only bus coming in. Only one bus will be coming in this way. So I don't need the stop motor. I'm just going to draw the wire along, and I don't need the long drive over. So I'm just going to eliminate the stop motor, or the turnout motor. I'm just going to eliminate it. There's no point, because there's no through traffic that would not go in. Only the bus would be coming in, so I'll have one bus stopping here, one bus stopping on the other side, and that should work just fine. So I'm eliminating that, and I'll just go with the stop motor. It'll work the same. It'll activate. I have to still measure and put in the read sensor on the line. And then we should be good. Okay, so now I've diverted the line, and I will go back with some gray caulk. I've got to go out and get gray caulk. And I will fill the groove in here. I will fill the roundabout section there just to hold the motor in place and to seal these holes up. And then I'm going to put a non-marked road tape over this. So that should work. That should be good enough. And then if I can get the stop motor to work, all the better. I've marked the first hole. I didn't bring my rule over here. I have to mark a centimeter off this line here to put the other read sensor in. But yeah, this gives us enough room to go around the bus. Right now, I just gotta get this to sink in just a little further. But with a little pressure, it'll slowly go down. But I want to get everything sealed in place before I go any further. So that's where I'm going to stop this for now. Okay, so I have moved the motor. I've got the line here. I've moved the two, even though I only need the one reed sensor. I'm just going to set this guy here on the inside lane to start. Right into the curve. And he is sticking there. I still got to level that out, but he's still activating the turn. Now, he's going in, and there's a little hesitation. I don't know if the stop is turned so low, like it's only a second. It's not even shutting the motor off. I'm going to have to go into some things and try it. So I haven't adjusted it. I'm just really trying to get a feel for this. There's a pause, and I don't think that it's catching on something. It really feels like there's just a pause, which means it's just a matter of the timer. And you can see up here, everything's going well.
All right, so I'm calling it a success. Again, that stop motor is a new motor. The two reed sensors, actually, I didn't even reuse. These are new ones that already brought with them and left here. So it's clearly that traffic module is not working. I was doing some work with it the other day and doing some tests with it, and I could get it to light up underneath, because it does light up when it's activated. It's got little red lights that along the circuit boards that say this is activated, and every now and then it'll just out of the blue do it, and then it won't. So I have to break down and buy one of those modules. But as it is, yes, things are kind of ugly right now. It's a mess, but it is more progress. I didn't solve the problem I was hoping I could solve today, but hoping was not expectation. I would have been shocked if I somehow got the module working today. But as it is, new motor is in, new reed sensors are in. I've readjusted the line so the buses can pull in and out without hitting the sign. It'll still look cool. So I'm quite thrilled with where it's at right now. It's just going to be cleanup, but I've also run out of materials. I have to buy some more road tape because I bought the wrong type of road tape. I bought the stuff that they said matched the concrete road. It doesn't. It's darker. So I have to buy the concrete road. Then I have to trim it down because I will eventually pave over the strips. But I've been testing it. You've seen it's working as well as it has. Yes, every now and then something bumps off because I am asking this again to do some things it's not necessarily designed to do. So crossing magnetic strips or the really tight radius turns, which it can do, but every now and then it catches a different bump. It might jam it up a bit more. And then we've got to get the other lane working. And eventually I'll have 2 buses running, and I'd like to have like 5 or 6 cars running. Otherwise I'll have static cars, but to me the static cars look weird with the buses running inside them. Or I could create a stop car scene, a traffic line, because I do have traffic cross lights there. Anyhow, that's enough. It's just I really wanted to clarify the Fowler car system is brilliant, as is Magna Rails, as is the Wiesmann system. You just got to go with which one works for you. But regardless of whether I was doing Wiesmann, I'd still be having problems because I'm asking them to do things that are a little bit outside their programming. Now, the newest Wiesmann car motion system and the newest Fowler car digital system, if you get them running, can do what I'm asking it to do. But when I started this 6 years ago, it wasn't that advanced. And it was either throw everything out and buy all new stuff, and the Wiesmann cars are the cost of a locomotive. No. I'd rather buy the locomotive. So it's been just working up and getting things to work the way I want them to work. But again, it's not the car system. It's not that I'm an idiot. I'm asking this to do things it's not specifically designed to handle. It seems simple. The little figure 8 it's running seems simple. But in their car motion, the Wiesmann car motion system or some of that, with the Wiesmann car motion, I'd have to be planting magnets everywhere, which is its own hassle. And with the crossings and pulling into the terminus and the curbs, yeah, it's a challenge. And to get it just right is design. And I've had it just right with the track, but since I decided to go away from the track and go away from the digital aspect of it, it's required something I had known I would have to do but didn't want to do, but now it's being done. I'd have to relay some of the lines, redo some things, but also other changes occurred that allowed me to get the actual two lanes of traffic in. So that's cool. I actually have the 2 lanes of traffic. So be that as it may, it's working and we've done well. So I'm sorry this is a long video with me nattering and nattering on, but I wanted to address those issues I talked about at the beginning of the video. This probably is going to come across as babble, but anyhow, until next time, I'm going to say, I'll be the same, choose and happy trains. Take care, everybody.